Am I any different? I'm going to film, and then I'm going to film after the meditation camp and see if I'm ever any different as a person. You want to go into so hello, welcome to hello and welcome to a video. Tomorrow I'm going to a meditation camp. It's going to be a vipassana camp. 9 days of silence and not looking anyone into the eyes. So we'll see what my experience is.
My joy to see her. See her not talking.
You see me not talking? Yeah, Nicola is going to join too. Or I'm actually going to join him. It was his idea. We're going to do it separately, obviously, but it's the same camp anyway. Anyway, I have no expectations. It's really out of my comfort zone, but good thing is that it's not dangerous. So it's probably the least dangerous thing that is the most out of my comfort zone that I ever done. So yeah, let's go tomorrow. I just wanted to film like a little bit of a this is me before. I'm pretty tired actually. See you guys in 9 days. No social media, no camera, no filming, no work. Just being in my own head is going to be really, really scary. No speaking. Yeah, that is a problem too.
At least you speak.
At least I speak?
He's big.
Ah, it's big. It's big.
Your head.
My head. Okay. See you guys, bye. Hey vlog camp. Just came back from the meditation camp and I think I need to speak more tomorrow because yeah, now it's late. It's 7:23, so we need to get ready for bed. Do you want to tell about your experience with the vlog camp? It's a lot for me to edit out. Something that was quite funny, or it was an experience, was that the way back, like driving on the way back, getting out from being quiet for so long, that was an experience. We were just driving and we were laughing so much and everything seemed so funny, and the I can't speak. Why can't I speak? I have a hard time with speaking. It was just funny. Driving back was just a funny experience. So yeah, now out in the real world, I feel like if I open my phone, like I opened it just to see if my Duolingo streak was there, honestly. But I feel like if I open Instagram, I will have a little bit of a shock. So I think I'm going to wait maybe another day. I'm absolutely not going to open it today, at least. So yeah, how was it not having me talking? You said you looked forward to it a little bit.
I had it back on the way back.
I was talking a lot. Okay, so hi, it's the day after. I feel a little bit sick, or it's just like a mental overload happening. Do you see how shiny my forehead is in the light? It's big. My head. We'll see if I can rearrange my words, because I was just on Instagram for 10 minutes and I totally fried my brain. Some interesting things I've noticed coming back to real life is that today I called like the bank and the tax company for some stuff for my company. You know how some of the people that work with like solving problems for people that you call, some of them are really nice and some of them are just like so tired of their jobs. So first I got one, she seemed so tired of her job. Like I was trying to explain to her, but I think I was talking a bit slow or she didn't understand me, and then she started like talking to me in a rude way, and I just said like, could I talk to someone else? I'm not feeling this. And she was just like, yes, and then she connected me to another person. And just doing that, like before this I would have like tried to convince her and tried to be like, ah, come on, and I would have been angry and stuff, but now I'm just like, I'll like go to the next. And then the next one was awesome. Then I called the bank. She couldn't solve my problem, and I think she took it a little bit personal, and she said like, I need to speak to someone about this. And I said yeah. So last time, because this has happened again, last time the other person said that they were going to speak and they didn't reply to my messages. And then I was just going to say that I just want to make sure, but then she was like really defensive and like, yeah, but I can't solve the problem if I can't talk to this. And I was like, yeah, I just said this so that you know that it's important to me. And it completely switched. And just like those kind of small interactions, having this experience with me in my daily life is like, I think it's making a difference, and I think that I can use a lot of the tools. I jumped a little bit ahead in time. Maybe you guys want to know like what it all was about. To begin with, the schedule was like you woke up at 5, then you went to meditate for 2 hours and you had this schedule of kind of like walking and sitting meditation. 1 hour walking, 1 hour sitting, and when you were walking, you were like walking like this slow. You were walking like 100 meters in an hour. And so when you were sitting, you were supposed to focus on your breath, and that was like the only, just the rising and falling in the abdomina. And when you were walking, just like the step, how it felt. That is what is all was about, and that was what you were going to do for 11 hours per day at least. Even at meal times you were like not talking. It was a silent retreat. So yeah, you basically didn't talk to anyone for how many days was it? 10 days? 9 days? The only people you talked to, it was like the teacher. You barely had time to shower, let me tell you, because like if you were not meditating, you were either eating or you were listening to the teacher talking, because he had 1.5 hours per day where he was holding this Dhamma talk. So it was a Buddhist, not Buddhist center, and I don't know if the teacher was Buddhist, but it was like vipassana is, I think it is a Buddhist thing, but at least like teachings about what the Buddha said, or yeah, like how you do the meditation and what is normal to expect and stuff like that. What happens when you're just silent and you just are in the moment all the time is that you're intuitively reflecting. Like you have experiences which can be different for different people. I had more of so like a deep reflection on a deeper level. Like you build some sort of empathy. Like now I was like, I had a mosquito in the room and I caught it and I was like, I can't kill it, so I needed to throw it outside. Like you built such a high empathy, and I don't know if like you should call that a high empathy, because it's just like not killing, and that is like, that should be kind of a base. Anyway, you build this empathy, you get this like reflection, like deep intuitive reflection of what you want to do with your life, what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. You get aware of the actions you do, like before you do them, like the intention, and you can choose to like act on the intention or not with a more mindful mind. Also, what happens when you just focus on the breathing, the feelings that comes in the foreground, it can be like anything. It can be like really euphoric joy, or it can be like really sad sorrow, or it could be whatever. And you just learn how to handle the feelings and just sit with the feelings and know that they're going to pass. Like it's not, nothing is permanent. And so what this does is that later in life, or like now when coming out to the real world, you can take the, like you notice the intentions, you get really sensitive to social conversation. You pick up these small things that can make you act in a way that is more wholesome, maybe, if I can explain it that way. It's also this whole thing, it's vipassana. Like you need to experience it. And our teacher, he had like a comparison that it's something like describing. If you have never seen a sunflower and you try to describe it to someone, you don't get the experience that is like actually seeing the sunflower. So you kind of need to do this yourself if you want to get exactly what I'm talking about. You can understand it, but it's hard to really see the whole picture of what vipassana is if you have never done it. To go a little bit more personal, like I have had a lot of feelings generally in life that has been like hard for me to process, and I have had really hard times like processing feelings about different things that has happened in my life or that is going on in my life, and just being able to process them is so like life-changing, because there has been experiences in my life where that I don't want to go into detail to, but where I have never talked about with anyone. And the reason why, like, I just haven't physically been able to tell anybody because the reactions have been too much. So, but with the tools of having like being able to handle your feelings, I managed to tell, like, for example, there is this specific thing that I have never been able to say out loud, and yesterday I was able to tell my partner, like, and sure, it was hard, but it was this way of handling the feelings that, like, knowing that the feelings will pass. And this is like, yeah, sure, in life before I knew that feelings will pass, but actually like practicing vipassana and seeing that feelings will actually pass, it's a whole nother thing. Like, you actually experience that feelings will pass and you don't lose yourself into feelings. So actually after this I got a really hard time, and now it's good. I have gone to therapy, and sometimes that is needed to get some help, because some things can actually literally change your brain, and you might need like specific techniques to do it. If it wasn't for the vipassana, I would never have told my boyfriend. I would never have like solved the problem. I would go with this for so much longer, and it's something that has been pulling me down. The vipassana kind of sparked something in that, which I'm really thankful for. But just so you know, it was not like a straight road up from this. It was shit. Like, I've never felt that bad before, but yeah, sometimes these things can trigger stuff. I also learned a lot about myself, and how I work and why I work like I work, and how I want to act in the future. And also I understand like people around me much more. This has been life-changing for me, and I know that is big words, but like being calm, I guess, because I've been really like, so I don't say that I'm not going to go into the patterns again of this, like a lot of feelings that are just like, I don't know, I've had a lot of feelings that I couldn't handle, and I hope that I'll keep this ability to be able to handle my feelings. Yeah, now I'm talking like really without any order. I know what I want to say, but it has no structure, and I think that is a little bit what kind of happens. That it's not, for me, it doesn't need to be that much structure anymore. So I have my journal here, and I'm obviously not going to go into too much detail about this, but I want to take you guys through like approximately the experience that I had for the first time that I did a like 9-day retreat. And I don't know if this is like interesting for people. I'm not sure, but maybe if you want to do a retreat, or maybe for myself watching later, probably that is going to be what it's going to be, because this is like another type. This is like not running and stuff, but at the same time it has a lot to do with ultra running, because you get so much stronger mentally, and if you can handle like pain in a way that, yeah, that you can really handle, then it's going to make you better at, for example, ultra running, which is a very mental sport. And I was thinking like, so why is all of the training that we do, almost all of the training, why is it physical? Why is it not mental? Because the amount of the mental part of ultra running, it's so much. So we have so much that we can add to the training, because just mental training doesn't have the physical toll in your body, and you can just spend so much more time on your training if you want to. And I don't know, I think it's a really good thing. So in the beginning of the retreat, I didn't know how to do so the experience, I don't have much experience with meditation, but the experience that I have is like guided meditations, where it's like not inwards, it's more like outwards kind of. So I had no idea what to do. I was just like, I went into it and I was like trying to guide myself through some kind of meditation, and I was just like, okay, I'm seeing things, but I don't think it's like, what are we doing? And my head really started hurting after a while. So we were kind of thrown into that first without any instructions, because maybe they were expecting that people have read a little bit about it before, which I didn't. So I didn't know what vipassana was. But then the teacher, he talked about how we should do, and then I was like, okay, right. So in the beginning, I have some notes that is like, okay, so I'm going away into thoughts, I'm going away into ideas. I got like a lot of fun ideas. I wrote some of them down. In the beginning of the retreat, I had so many ideas. Sometimes I needed to write them down because like it was good ideas, but also mostly to get them out of my head, and then they were kind of gone. And then as the retreat went on, it was much easier to keep the concentration and not go into this like, you know, like ideas and thoughts and everything. So day 3, I was feeling like I had some meditations where I could get into this like super relaxed, calm mind kind of. But then I went back again into drifting away, like a lot of up and down. Here I have like, my resting heart rate is really low. It was like at 47, which is really low to be me. Like usually I maybe have 57 when I sleep. So here I'm writing that like it goes a lot up and down. But I'm feeling relaxed without feeling tired or weak. That was a good thing, and I felt like I really needed this, because I went into this as my off season after a very tough season with like a lot of races or a lot of projects and a lot of traveling and stuff before. Thought it was nice. And also day 3, I started observing the feelings that I had around certain things, and here I was like, so I had a moment of relaxation, and then I got distracted, and I got a fear of, because there was some guy that was coughing all the time, was really sick, and I was like, I'm kind of scared of that, but I'm trying to sit with the feeling. Day 4, I still had actually a lot of ideas and thoughts and stuff. Like I didn't read this journal again until now, and I see now that like I had a lot of days where I wasn't in the state of mind that I was in the end. I wrote it down here, like the feeling that I can wake up with anxiety at home, it's not existent here. And then I wrote like, I noticed like small things that are so beautiful, just pure love. And it feels like I understand my partner better. That was what I wrote. I also have like some notes of things that I thought was so beautiful, and it's kind of cute, so I'm going to read it. Okay, so I wrote one. It was like the beauty of noticing. So I noticed the spider move on the wall each day. Like there was a spider in the corner, and the first days it was there, then it wasn't there anymore. After a few days I was like kind of sad that I didn't see the spider move anymore, but I could see it move in the corner. The noticing of how the leaves turned yellow. So I had like a branch in the beginning of the retreat that I counted the leaves after a few days. And then I noticed like when a leaf falls. So in the end of the retreat, like in the beginning it had 5 leaves, and in the end it had 3 leaves. So that was like something I noticed that was really beautiful. Noticing how the grains from the tea looks like a sky of red stars and a white sky. I still have the picture in my head very vividly. Like, you get really focused with this, and the memories really stick. So even the small things, like really small things. We also talked about this in the car, because the car ride on the way back, some people might have said that it feels like being high, but it was insane. We were laughing so much, and we were like, okay, this is crazy. Like, it's a little bit crazy. So another thing that I noticed was a praying mantis. It's an insect, pretty big insect, and they have really, like, they really notice you. They have a head that they can move, and when you moved, you see that they see you, which is like, that was kind of cute. Yeah, and then like lizards and how animals notice you, because before I've been like, okay, so insects, they don't notice you. But I just realized that like when the insects see you, they notice you, which, like, if you have ever seen a jumping spider, the way the jumping spiders notice you, how the core of a hiccup feels. So I got a hiccup during the retreat one time, and I could feel when it stopped. And I've never felt that before. Like, a hiccup for me has been like, okay, it just stops suddenly. But there's some feeling when it stops, which I've never seen, like, I never felt before. So that was very interesting. Then just the connecting with animals, just, I don't know, even insects, how you can connect with them instead of them being just like a, you know, this annoying thing. Like, you can connect with them. The mushroom and the sun under the tree. So there was this mushroom that during the retreat I saw it grow. Like, the days passed and I saw it grow, and then I saw it die. So at the end of the retreat it was dead, which was like, I was so sad the morning I came out, and it was like the top of the mushroom was like tilted, and it was like, shit, it died. The mushroom died, and then I just laughed at myself because I was like, what is, like, I got sad because a mushroom died. How the clouds from the airplane vanish, you know, the stripes on the, after the airplanes, like how they just vanish, how quick it goes actually before they vanish. I never thought about them vanishing. Also barefoot walking, like how it feels, how it really feels. So I needed to help Niccolo with some screwing for the van where we're going to live for the winter. Another beautiful thing that I saw, I'm just saying this so that, like, you guys, if you want to notice, like, what things that you can notice with being like absolutely out of the world. Another one was like a planet that I saw, because I know it's a planet because it was like shifting into red-ish and like blinking kind of. And sometimes you can see the planets on the sky, and I saw that there was a planet. I was like, whoa, and I watched it every morning. I was just like seeing if it moved, or like how the sky moves, because, you know, like the sky moves. Another thing was Nicolo's eyes. So my partner and I, we got like eye contact one of the last days or in the middle or something, and I just saw his eyes and I was like, whoa, they are, like, I knew that they were beautiful before, but you know, so I'm really in love. Then I came to day, which was day 5. It was 4 full days, and I got like my first really negative feelings, because the first days it was just positive experiences. I saw that they pass, and that was like when I realized, like, okay, the feelings actually pass, with bad feelings and with good feelings. The feelings will pass, and or the mental states we call them. In the evening, like a few hours later, I remember I had so much gratitude and euphoria, and it was kind of like a, like, you know, when it's bad and then it goes like really good. And but that feeling, I also saw that it passed, so it was very interesting. Then I discovered mindful eating, which I want to do a whole nother YouTube video on, because as you might know, I was struggling with an eating disorder. I have not been affected, like I'm not acting on the thoughts anymore, but I still have the thoughts sometimes. Mindful eating is a different, like, it's a new aspect of this. Like, I've just seen food as fuel, and I'm going to talk about it in another video, but until then, I realized mindful eating and how like some things I liked that I didn't think I liked, and some things I didn't like that I thought I liked. And then I wrote like, I found what creates runner's high. It is the mindfulness you have with running. So I think that it's a combination of the hormones that gets released with running. But I mean, why don't you have a runner's high every time then? So I am pretty sure that a runner's high, it comes from mindfulness. The first days, but not even days, like maybe 1 or 2 nights, I was really tired. I was like, okay, waking up at 5, that is like really early, you know? But then I started waking up like 4:40, 4:20, and I was like, so are we ready for the day, maybe? The 2 last days, I felt like I was sleeping almost consciously. The last night, I felt like I got insight into something because I was mindful, like when I was sleeping. This was day 10. I was reflecting about the way you understand, because here we got to meet people that we have never talked to, but we have been in the same like rooms and meditating together. Like you never heard them talk, but you notice how they are as people in a way. Just by how they move and how they do things in a way. So the way that the people that you meet afterwards, the way that they're speaking exactly how you thought they were going to speak, or are acting exactly or saying exactly what you were expecting them to say, that is something you should not underestimate. Like if you get a feeling of someone, it is probably right if you're sensitive and if you're pretty mindful. That was my experience with the 10-day, or it was like 8 full days and then 2 half days of constant meditation, being quiet in a room or outside. And it is big words to say that it was life-changing, but it truly was. And I think that I will keep this with me for the rest of my life, and I will set a really good base for how I want to like act in life and what intentions I follow. Because sure, I have grown so much these past years, and I've done things in the past I'm like, well, why did I do that? And also especially because I have social media, like put out things on social media, but it's a part of the process, and I don't think that people take it that seriously, because it's nothing that I've harmed anyone. It's just like, oh, Anna, like you're so young. Like I can look back at videos and be like, okay, nice reflections you have, Anna, but anyway. And in the future I will probably look at this video and be like, okay, cool reflections, you are so wise, 20-year-old Anna. Everything changed and nothing is permanent, and you need to realize that. And like if you have followed me for a while, or you have not, and you look back at a video that I made 2 years ago, like that is so long ago, and it is like change is there. And sometimes I'm like, I've had this feeling of a little bit anxious about like, okay, did I post those years ago? It's just like funny things, it's nothing harmful, it's just like, yeah. But I think that social media is a way to make something more permanent, and that is not how it's supposed to be. Because there's always change, and you will always feel like the best version and the newest version of yourself. If you ever have the chance to do a 10-day meditation retreat, do it. Like, don't be afraid of the term that it's like a Buddhist belief, because you can also do it not being Buddhist, and I've not considered any religion on myself, but I guess that this is really something that I feel like I've believed all my life. It has been so hard to just open my phone. Honestly, it's mind-blowing how much social media just fries your brain. And I've had a little bit of a crisis, like I'm contributing to frying people's brains, because I just went into Instagram for 10 minutes. I was totally drained. Yeah, learn on the way. You don't need to put so much pressure on yourself, and if you can meditate, like I'm going to try. But if I don't end up meditating, that's also fine. Mindfully thinking about the word peace out.